Hello, this is week 6, and I'm just going to add a few things to chapter 10, preschool physical and motor development for children. When we start out on that second page, page 211, I'm reading the vignette. This Miss Shapiro, I believe her name is, she had her center torn up. And to be honest with you, I don't think it has anything to do with some children needing more physical opportunities to express themselves. I think all children need a lot of physical opportunities to express themselves. And I think what actually went wrong is that she did not teach children what to do with the supplies and how to treat them gently and how to put them away. It's really a classroom management issue, but anyhow, that's just my own opinion. So yeah, there you go. All right, so a few other things in this chapter that I do want to cover. Let me just pull. I write notes in the margins when I read, so that way I don't forget to mention anything. Let's see here. Get back. Okay, so when they talk about rough and tumble play on page 218, when you work pre-K, there's a lot of rough and tumble play because children like to play rough. The problem is that sometimes people get hurt. And so this book does have a few good suggestions, but I highly recommend that you read the article that I have actually posted on Blackboard. I think this article here, Rough and Tumble Play, is just wonderful when it comes to telling when to draw the line. How do you know that they're having a good time versus how do you know that somebody is not having a very good time? So just thought I'd throw that in. It's not required reading, but I sure do recommend it. Okay. Fine motor development does not necessarily go hand in hand with gross motor development. You can have a really great gross motor development. You'll see boys, for the most part, are way ahead of the little girls in gross motor development, and vice versa. The little girls are generally much further ahead than the little boys in fine motor development. So obviously you'll want to have a lot of opportunities if you're teaching pre-K for them to be cutting with scissors. And you will want opportunities for them to color as well. That's how you build those little muscles in the hands for fine motor development and writing in the future. I also like using pinchers to pick up small beads and put them in egg crates and for sorting and things like that. That always is a great way to exercise those muscles. Okay. So then we look at the art development, and I'm going to share this here with you because our book talks about the stages of art development in pre-K. And yeah, there are stages of art development. We all start out scribbling. And really even before too, if you hand children a big fat crayon, they'll do like this and make marks on the paper. The scribbles are very random. They don't necessarily have any meaning at that age. If they're right around 2, that's when children are experimenting with handedness. They might scribble with their right hand one day and the left hand the next day, and then both hands the day after that. But eventually they will settle on one or the other. And as they work their way through closer to 3, they'll be able to describe what they're drawing and perhaps name it. This is Spot the dog, whatever it is. But that happens right around 3. And we might just make random marks here when we're scribbling. And sometimes we have more than random marks. We fill the whole page. And from scribbling, we go to the pre-schematic age. And this stage is really right around, I'd say, between 3 and 4. And it does go through kindergarten and to about 1st grade. At that point, we use favorite colors, whatever they may be. You're going to see what I call tadpole people, where you have a large head and a tiny body and stick arms and legs. They're floating in space. There's no baseline. And I'll talk more about X-ray drawings. Let's look at this pre-schematic stage here. You've got these lines that eventually work their way into shapes. This almost looks like a heart. Shannon, you can see the SHA or ON and then another AN or ON. Hard to tell, but they are making letters. And then just random lines and shapes. Everything is just sort of floating in space. These are tadpole drawings. These are the people. And you can see basically facial features and hair, but not much else. Now, you will also see as they get older and you head from about kindergarten towards first grade, you'll see more skilled drawings where you can really recognize everything. You can see that this is perhaps a playground and monkey bars, and it's a child on the monkey bars. There's a sun and a house and maybe a dog. However, all of that stuff is floating in space. If it had a baseline, you would see grass or cement or whatever the surface is down here along the ground. But we don't have that yet. Everything is still floating in the air. That is a hallmark of pre-schematic. Just remember that. And here we go again. This child is adding more details than they've added before. Notice floating in space, and also notice that Hansel is very clearly drawn to be a boy. Thought you'd notice that. Okay, but everything is still floating in space. So why do you need to know what stage of drawing a child is in? You're not grading drawing. No, you're not. But here's the thing. As children move through these stages, you will see the change. And when we get to school age, I'll show you what the next stage is. But say, for instance, you've got a third grader, fourth grader, fifth grader who's still scribbling, and you can tell they're scribbling. That is inappropriate for that age group. Even if they're still in the pre-schematic and everything is without a baseline, it's all floating in the air. Again, that's a symptom of something not being quite right in their development. So that's something to consider when you have a child that already has some difficulties in other areas. Look at their art development as well and see what that looks like, because that may be another piece of the puzzle. Okay. This week, you're going to complete a PowerPoint, and I'm going to make a separate video for that so that it doesn't get too long. I hope you have a wonderful week. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.